Alright, welcome everyone, it's David, aka Faramir4731, and I'm bringing you another matchup on Empire Total War, this being on the grassy flatlands, and I'm going to be playing as France as I make my advance towards our opponents, and my ally is going to be Hussar, who is going to be playing as the United Provinces. And we are facing up against Luke15, who will be playing as America. And also, we will be playing up against Warfighter, who will also be playing as America. So, in this, you can see I'm pushing straight up right away. And I've got all my lights, and I'm going to be forcing them to the to Warfighter's left, my right, and I'm going to be pushing back or kiting my center, or not my center, but my left, the center of the battlefield, and you can see Hussar coming up to support me. I've got all my cav in the center, and so in this matchup it was 5 lights, no art. I actually only bring 4 because I go with a little bit different build than what I have been doing. So what I did is I came over, I was going to drop stakes, but seeing how things are lining up, I've got a little bit different tactic. He's got 2 lights over here on this flank and 3 lights over here. So I'm going to push straight ahead with my Bulkleys, and I'm going to go straight ahead, dead ahead into a charge. I got a guard de corps over here, ready and waiting to go into melee. So what I see is there's a little bit of weakness in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push all my lights over to the center where he has no lights, and I'm going to push all my lines up to go into combat with his lights over here, and I'm going to push this the left side of the field very hard. As you can see, I'm pushing all my cav over because I got shielding now from my lines coming up, while my lights are going to be doing covering fire for me in the center. Very concentrated fire, and I'm going to be able to put a pretty good beating down on them. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing my lines up to where they're in range of his lights over here, but not in range of his lines. Now you can see my lines are starting to break right here from all the firepower. All 3 of these goons and this line did shoot into that, but now he's going to be pushing back as my Bulkleys, which are depleted except for one of them, are going to be starting to break. But like I said, they are strong units, so you don't need a lot of men, and this leaves him pretty weak. So he's bringing these goons over to shoot my goons, but I'm going to push them out, and this leaves me with fire down his lines. So any shots that miss go into his other goons. He's going to be pushing this militia up to try to counter that. But you can see the big mess, and actually Luke brings over his dragoons to help. And I'm going to be pushing into this. I'm trying to keep this fight in this general area. As you can see, I've got this militia pretty far down, but I'm going to keep continuing to push, shoot these guys up, knock them out. You can see I'm breaking several units, so I'm just going to continue to push over here. I've got my Bulkleys fighting into melee, so I'm sticking some of his cav into melee so I can eliminate what I can. And now I got 2 cav units that are coming back to shoot these guys up. I'm pretty outnumbered. You can see I knocked out this militia, so now I've got my lights coming up in support. So I'm not faring great because of all the cav over here. Now Hussar is going to be taking advantage of this a little bit. He's going to unleash some volleys over here. Okay. And now you can see again, I formed a square, so I'm and you can see the volley I got off with these guys. So I got this cav right here. It's pretty good strength. I'm just continuing to try to whittle them down as much as I can. You see I got 37 left on that bulkly, only 28 on this, but it's going to give me enough because I got 96 on this one. So I'm just kind of stacking them up as best I can, and I'm trying to keep these cav off my lights so I can just keep whittling these guys down over here. And over here you can see I did some pretty decent damage to him. He's got 48 longs there. I think the other one, yeah, the other one's right there. So the other one's trying to come up and shoot as well. But I'm continuing to push. Now he's going to start laying some fire down on my lights, so I'm going to push them out as far as I can. So yeah, things are starting to turn against me now. But now I'm going to start facing my lights against his two, and I'm going to push my lines up to force his lights back where I can continue to shoot him up while he pulls back and retreat. So I've got two bulklies left, and you can see I'm up against a lot of cav, and one of my lines did come back right here, but I don't even know about it at this point. So you can see over here all the cav was on my side. Luke did bring does have 4 of his cav over here to hold back Hussars, but we were dealing with a tremendous amount of cav. Now you can see here I'm just gonna try to fend off these 2 cav charges right here. This is going to allow me to eliminate them, but I've got a line coming in here on me into my lights, so I got to deal with that as well. So I've got this cav that came back right here, so I did break this cav, and I've got this line coming into me to go into melee, but I'm gonna get my lights and start moving them out. And I've got these 2 bulklies here still left, holding back all these cav. So things aren't looking good for me, so I'm just trying to whittle down and knock out as many units as I can before I'm knocked out. So you can see here I am going to lose one of my excuse me, one of my tier lures here, but now I'm able to start shooting into these, and he's going to start hitting some of his own men with his volleys as well. So I'm going to continue my pullback where I got this unit here back. Now I'm going to just use it to, you know, give me basic delay here, because I'm up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cav units, and I've got 2 more coming in. So they're trying to knock me out as quick as possible, but again, I'm going to try to do my best to prevent that from happening. Now I'm down to 2 tier lures. One of them is at 60 still, one is at 26, so you can see I'm getting wiped out pretty quick. So I'm going to flip and try to get my lines to assist my my tier lures, which now I'm down to 52 men and dropping, or no, I think I might be stopping. See, so he's got that 73 line infantry and that 41 Continental Dragoons on my light. So now I'm down to 50. So I'm just going to try to do the best I can to get my tier lures out of there where I'm not going to get killed. So this line is going to be providing distraction before I get utterly shattered here. And then Hussar is trying to whittle away at Luke because he's got no cav support except for 2 units, because all of them are on my side. So this is going to give him the ability to really pound into them right here. So now over here I've got my line unit that is still trying to hold them back. I've got my actually one of my tier lures came back, so got this bulkly that I forgot about is getting shot up. And then over here, you can see I did route that line and that 2nd Continental Dragoon. So now I'm just facing these units because they're starting to move towards Hussar to team up on him. And they're only leaving 3 units and some cav to deal with me. So here comes the cav on my tier lures, and you can see here he does get a shot off and shoots some of his own cav there. So now I am going to be stuck right here with a line coming up, so my lines are going to be forced to stay and fight so I can protect my tier lures. And you can see that they do now shift 2 cav units over to support against Hussar, since he has massive cav superiority versus them over there on that flank. So now they're down to this. My tier lures are hanging in there. He didn't really kill that much, so he's going to try another charge in. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to try to shoot on them as they come in. And do get some shots off. He's going to take a point blank shot on this unit and knock that unit out. But this is my stronger unit. I've only lost 1 guy on it. So this is going to provide me the ability to keep shooting into him as they roll away. And now I can run that unit and these units away as well. So you can see here Warfighter's now going to bring his lights over to try to finish me off, and he's got 4 depleted cav units here. Now the one advantage we do have is Hussar has all his cav still intact. He's got 6 cav units, and if you tally it up, they got 4 pretty depleted units. One of them is not with 47, but the rest of them are going to be depleted cav units. And here they're one of my I brought my general's bodyguard up here to tag these guys so I could shoot into them, because I'm pretty much done at this point. So I'm just trying to eliminate cav for my ally. So you can see here I'm just continually shooting in. I'm going to bring up my lines to so I'm just trying to delay as much as I can. As you can see, another cav unit's going to be coming in. So I'm continually shooting with my tier lures while my general holds back. Now my general's starting to break. One of the cav did break on his side, and he's got 1 at 18, 1 at 23 now. I did take a shot from that unit, dropped me to 27, and I've got this unit in melee with another cav unit, but it's going to get eliminated, and as well as my line gets killed off there. So now I'm about to break another unit. My general's about to go, so he's going to try and pull that unit that's wavering out with this one. So I'm down to 20 tier lures, 67 line, and 41 lines right here. So over here you can see that Hussar has a pretty good complement of lights still left, and Luke's are pretty depleted. He's got 38 and 20 right here. So he has long range advantage there, but Warfighter is going to add some units to the mix. He's got 4 lights left: 60, 38, 21, and 25. So now I'm just trying to take out as many of their units as I can. So I formed up square here. This Dragoon is routed off, as this line here is now in contact with me. So again, I'm just trying to take down as many men as I possibly can there. I did have this line come back with 46 men. I don't think they're aware of that, so I'm going to be able to shift that over. First, I'm thinking about going after his lights, and I think I do. I can't remember. But Hussar is going to be shifting around as you can see, to prepare for this. So at this point, after I've been taken out, now the only cav that my opponents, or our opponents, have left is 47, 39, and 30. So we have a massive cav advantage because we've got 35, 51, 49, 43, 33, and 38. So we have the mobility. So that's going to be a huge factor for us. Where they have the long range advantage slightly, and the line advantage slightly. As you can see, Luke has only 3 lines there, and he's got 2 pretty full strength lines right here. So they went for a more cav heavy army, and unfortunately for them, their cav is pretty depleted at this point. Okay, so you can see Warfighter is going to be taken up on the right flank, and here's the line that I had left. So this is all I have left in the game. And over here they're going to try to sweep this flank on the left, and I'm just going to try to provide a little bit of help on the right. Okay, so he's got first volley onto this long rifle right here, but right now he's got 2 long range on him, and he's getting a little bit of shots in on the Swiss behind. So Hussar's got another light to come up to support, and so he's going to pull out of that fight. Okay. So you can see here on our left flank, the cav that they have left is now going to be taking some shots on the left flank as well as the lines. So this line infantry right here only got a couple men to shoot because of the angle it's at, and now it's going to start dropping. So he started with 110 men, now he's down to 89 that quick. So you know, he's busy trying to manage other parts of the field and didn't see. Now he does, and he's going to start shifting his line. Really, he's lucky to only get down to 89 there. Now he's going to shift cav over to take down that cav threat. Okay, so I've got 1 line left. I'm going to just try to keep this unit of 65 busy so that he can't wrap this flank over here. Okay, so looks like this unit is, this line is 78. He is maybe going to get it back. Looks like he will. So it did drop to 78 after all the volleys. Okay, so now they're making a push on the center to come after these 2 long range right here, but this long range is going to be providing cover and fire. And he's shifting some of his long range over to the other flank over here. Now my line is under duress from Warfighter's general and that line, so I'm going to take my volley, and I got shot down to 38 where I took him down to 55. So he's going to be pushing some cav over to support his flank, and you can see here we get some decent volleys onto this line before it pulls away, but not as many as we hoped. We're still getting some shots on them. Okay, meanwhile on this flank they've backed off, and his riflemen did get routed out, and he has the other light dragoon that was left is right here in contact. So right now they're about to lose one of their cav. So they had 3 cav left when I thought they had 2. but now you can see that they're pushing their lines up to still put some punishment on us because of the contact that was here. So our long range is going to get whittled down a little bit more. Okay. So you can see here we got 3 lines. There are 2, but he's got long range providing covering fire there. So yeah, things are pretty tight at this point. I got a line here still. They're starting to pull back, so I'm going to just try to shift to keep them off balance so they can they can't really assault our right flank where we're starting to look a little weak. Okay. So the fight is pretty crucial here in the center. You can see he's got 2 long range right here that Hussar is going to start pushing for. And Hussar's doing pretty good in the center, so he's going to keep continuing to push, so he can push his dragoons up to get some volleys in, because he does have firepower now on our opponents. So he is starting to whittle away at these 2 units on the right, while I'm going to try to wrap around on the right flank. This line is starting to waver from the long range fire from Warfighter. You can see all of his long range are stacked up right here. Okay, so he dropped stakes wisely right here, so he can't cav charge his lights, but he does have the line shooting into him, and now he's got all of his cav shooting volleys into these guys. So they threw their general in here, and he did get the cav charge off on these long rifles that just absolutely obliterated one of them, and now is into the other one and his general. So on this flank, Hussar is losing versus these 2 line here. He's going to be left with pretty much a militia here in a minute to hold that flank. Meanwhile, I did sneak my line around because, you know, I'm kind of like a gnat on the wall, so I do get a pretty decent volley on this line on the flank. As you can see, we're losing another line over here, but we are winning the fight in the center. As you can see that they are pulling back. So as Hussar is going to continue to push that center, but the left flank is quickly becoming a lost cause. Looks like he's about to lose this cav here soon too. So he's rolled a light over here to provide some cover and fire while his militia holds that flank. Now at this point, Hussar did lose his general, and you can see I'm just going to try to get this unit of line to come after me so I can keep that line out of the fight. Okay, so right now Hussar is trying to get his general with his depleted unit there. So right now it's crucial in the center for us to be able to win this. So the last 2 cav units that they have is going to be going into melee with our Swiss right here in the center, and Hussar has now got 5 cav units in the center. I think his other one broke, so we're down to 5 cav units. You can see over here on this flank, I did get assaulted by these units, and I am going to end up breaking both of this, the general and the line that came after me, just simply because I got first volley, so I'm down to 30 men. So that was a huge turn of event, because like I said, both of the flanks are in dire jeopardy as they're trying to wrap this flank up, and they're doing a good job. We're getting a mass rout going on here. So the center is the only thing that we're really winning at this point, and that's being held by a long range, which is about to knock that unit out. And so now I've got 2 units after my measly unit of 30 men, and I'm just going to continue to try to pull them out of this fight to give Hussar some more time. But they do see that with the cav, and they do pull that back. My line does pull this unit of 66 men out of this fight, which is going to prove to be pretty useful. As you can see, their long-range advantages quickly dwindled down to the cav advantage. One of his cav did just break right here, but he's still got 2 pretty good-sized units, and the lines of our opponent's center is pretty much gone. So we've just got this one unit right here of 70 men that's going to be providing some problem for us, but again, he's got the mobility on this unit with his cav, so you can see there he's getting those shots in, and his lights are going to be providing cover fire the whole time. Okay, so now his cav is going to start charging into the long rifles here. And my line does finally break, but again, that unit is going to be out of the fight now. So yeah, it's down to the absolute wire here. He's about to break these 2 long rifles. He's got this one broke, second New York. Now he's going to be going after these long rifles here. They're out of there. Now the Morgans are next. And here comes the cav assault on these 51 men. And things are starting to look pretty good for us at this point. Their strongest unit is this 66 men, and it's just out of the way at the moment. Okay, his Morgans are about to break. So now, at this point, they got 26 and we got 25 riflemen. So really it's an even fight on the long range. No, actually he's got 29 and 26, so they still have an advantage with long range. So this line is going to get shot up on the way, but now this cav is going to be able to charge it down after that volley on the line. And it looks like one of the cav of ours did rout, but he did get a good charge on that, knocked him down to 32 men. So now we're vastly superior in the in the line battle, as his cav did break right here, unfortunately, but it gave his line time to start shooting in, and now that long rifle's down to 17 men. So that line of 50 men is about to break here. So we're down to 39 cav. Now we did get his general right there. That's going to provide a big boost for us. So now all 4 generals are dead on the field. And we're down to 4 units versus their 6. But again, they have long range advantage and we have the cav advantage. We'll find out which one is going to prove to be more useful, as this line is going to break with that volley. So now he can quickly move this cav over to provide support while he did knock out the remainder of his general bodyguard, and now he's close to being in contact with this long rifles. And so now it's 4 units on 4 units, and they are pretty depleted. He's actually got one line. That 66 men is still a pretty good strong unit versus the 44. He's got 68, so he's just trying to form up to shoot these long rifles. Okay, so it's coming down to the absolute wire here. 2 long rifles left in the game, and 2 line. Or actually, he's got 3 long, because he's got a Morgan's too. So here's the final push. You can see his Cavic's pretty darn tired at this point. Or no, it's just active, I'm sorry. There goes the long rifles on the left. And now his Cav should just be able to sweep over the rest of these long range. So this was a very good game by our opponents, and good game by Hussar to pull this one off, as I was knocked out of this match pretty rapidly with all the cav. So yeah, this is a fun one. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks again, everyone.